Hello guys, in this video we are going to learn the English idiom back to square one. Have you ever worked hard on something only to have it fall apart, forcing you to start completely over? That frustrating moment has a name. This presentation breaks down the idiom back to square one, what it means, where it comes from, and how to use it naturally in everyday English. The first thing is, what does it mean? The core meaning back to square one means you have to start all over again from very beginning because a previous plan, attempt or project has failed, been rejected. It captures that moment when all your progress disappear and you are left at the starting point. The phrase carries a tone of frustration but also resilience. You are not giving up, you are regrouping and trying again. The quick definition is your previous efforts did not work out and you have to restart again. You return to the original starting point because previous things not worked out. You back to the beginning. There is an emotional weight. It's not happy to restart because you have to do everything again. Where does the phrase come from? The most popular origin story point to the board games, especially early 20th century games like Snakes and Ladders. In these games, the board is divided into number squares, and the certain unlucky move sends you all the way back to square one, the starting position. The board game theory: land on the wrong space, you are sent back to start, square one. This is the most widely accepted origin. The second theory is radio commentary theory. Some historians suggest BBC radio commentator use a number grid to describe soccer plays, returning to square one when possession was lost. The third theory is newspaper print theory. Another theory links to early crossboard puzzles or print layouts where the stories were organized in numbered square on a page. The board games analogy. Y- Picture this: you are playing the board games. You have moved your pieces almost all the way to the finish line. You can practically taste victory. Then you roll the dice, land on go back to start space, and watch your progress vanish. The exact feeling, the frustration, the reset, the long road back is what back to square one captures in everyday language. It's relatable because almost everyone has experienced that kind of setbacks, whether in a game, project, or a relationship. The idiom works because everyone understands the pain of losing progress. It's visual, emotional, and instantly clear. To understand this, we have example. First example is on a project. The software update crashed the entire system, so all our hard works over the past week is gone. We are back to square one. Why it fits? In a work or project context, this idiom is incredibly common. When a technical failure, a rejected proposal, or major error wipes out your progress, you are going back to square one. Immediately communicate the severity of the setback to your team. It signals we are need to regroup, reassess, and start refresh. The key context clues are: you have a plan or effort which has failed, progress has been lost or undone, the team must restart from the scratch or from the beginning. There is a ton of frustration because you are going to restart again. How second example in the negotiation. For example, the landlord rejected our offers and would not compromise. So we are back to square one looking for new apartment. Here the situation: you made an offer, put in efforts and had expectations, but other parties say no and would not budge. Setback: that rejection nullifies your previous steps. The deal is dead and you cannot build on what was proposed. The restart: you are now searching again from the beginning, just like returning to square one on a game board. Solving a problem. For example, the troubleshooting step did not fix the machine, so we are back to square one trying to figure out what's wrong, when to use it. Perfect for the technical problem, medical diagnosis, investigations, or any situation where you test a solution and it doesn't work and forcing you to reconsider from the beginning. The more problem solving scenario is, for example, mechanics. We are replace the part, but the engine still would not start, back to square one. In case of science, the experiment's results were inconclusive, so it back to square one. In the detective, the lead turned out to be dead end. We are back to square one. So, how to use it naturally? The idiom back to square one is flexible, works in both casual as well as professional settings. Here is a quick guide to using it like a native speaker. In the casual conversation, my diet plan did not work out. Back to square one, I guess. Use it to acknowledge setbacks with a touch of humor or light frustration. Professional setting. The client rejected the proposal, so we are back to square one on the design. It is perfectly appropriate in a meeting email to signal a restart. Written English after the data breach, the security team was back to square one. Works well in reports, articles, and storytelling. No quotation marks needed in formal writing. Common mistakes to avoid. Correct uses. We are back to square one after the deal fell through. So it feels like we are going back to square one and the error wiped everything back to square one. So this is the correct way. The wrong way is never add the. So never add the in front of the square one. It should not be back to the square one. It should always be back to square one. Similarly, the second one is only square one, not square 0, 1, 2, 3, not square 0, 2, 3, only square 1. The third one is the standard form to use to, not at, not it should be the error wiped everything back to square 1, not back at square 1. Remember it always back to square 1, no article and no substitution for this idiom. What is the key takeaway from this video? First thing is meaning. Starting over from the beginning after the failure or setback. The origin of this idiom. Likely from the board game where the player returned to square one after a bad move. Usage. Work in casual, professional, and written English, versatile and naturally. Watch out. There is a no substitution. So there you cannot add that you cannot add the or zero. It always be back to square one. Now you are ready to use this idiom with confidence. Next time you plan fall apart, you can say exactly how you feel or maybe even smile about it. Thanks for watching.